Today I've selected 5 anime titles of summer 2022, and if they aren't any good, I get pushed. Trying to find something good to watch, scrolling through seasonal charts may be daunting and is very frustrating. It's kinda like sorting through a messy balcony, kinda like mine over here. You never know if the next show you'll choose will turn out to be a literal bag of cat shit or a work of art that you will remember for at least the next couple hours. But worry not, because today I will take all the responsibility if the shows that I recommend will not be very good. Because if any of them drops below a certain score at the end of the season, I will receive a punishment. The first title of the list is Call of the Night, and you don't need to know much about the show to know that it's a banger at the first sight. We follow the life of Ko Yomori, a middle schooler with insomnia who likes to wander around at night and hates girls. Would have been a recipe for disaster in another type of show, but based on the first episode, this one is a very wholesome and uplifting experience. Mostly due to the dynamic between Ko and Nazuna, the new hottest vampire waifu in town. After a couple of questionable interactions, it is revealed that Nazuna is indeed a vampire. But, surprisingly, sucking Ko dry didn't turn him into one. The reason being that in order to become a vampire, the victim has to fall in love with them. Stockholm Syndrome much, but okay. And so, the adventures of Ko Yomori begin. While he might not understand what it means to love someone, he is determined to turn his life around and break away from the norm, answering the call of the night wholeheartedly. Based on how well produced and put together the first episode is, I believe that Call of the Night has huge potential this season. And so I predict that at the end of the season it will be at least 8.4. And if it will be less than that, I'll have to write the raunchiest Twilight fanfiction in existence. Yurei Deco is one of these shows that you would probably skip because of the art, not to mention that this is an original title with a very high concept. But after finding out that Yurei Deco is written by Dai Sato, who've worked on Cowboy Bebop, Space Dandy, Samurai Champloo and other great series, I had to include this one. Yurei Deco is set in the world where Meta became the government and Mark Zuckerberg is a god. Everyone basically has Google glasses inserted in their eyes and lives inside a metaverse utopia where internet cloud, or love as they call it here, is the currency. And by the way, if you gave me some and clicked the like button, that would make you a great person. Thanks. At this point, not much is revealed. The only thing we know is that there is a troll named Phantom Zero who's going around town causing inflation and resetting other people's love to zero. And Barry, our protagonist, is a huge fangirl who wants to get more clout by leaking his info. But the setting is really interesting, the opening slaps, and the visuals are on point. So I think this is probably one of the hidden gems of this season. So I'll be surprised if it ends up being any less than an 8. And if not, I'll subject myself to 500 push-ups in 2 hours. The next show on the list is Overlord Season 4. And before you say anything, I know that it's a sequel, everyone knows about it, but hey, it's good. Based on the hype around the season in the light novel corner and reacting to the first episode on my Boosty, boosty.to/DanonMecha you can follow for free or choose a membership that you like, link in the description. I think that this season of Overlord will be the best so far. The world has really opened up, and there will certainly be open confrontation between all the important factions. The intrigue is here, the CGI is as bad as before, so I'm really confident in this one. 8.5. Any less than that and I will dub a hentai episode of your choosing. By myself. The whole episode. With moaning and groaning, all serious-like. Definitely subscribe to see how well this one will age. Next up is another rom-com. When will Ayumi make his move gives off strong Kaguya-sama vibes, except that Ayumi clearly telegraphs his feelings towards the Shogi Club president who also clearly likes him. But this brick wall of a man with a silver tongue just won't admit that he has feelings. The thing is, Ayumi doesn't want to walk the easy path and just confess, oh no. He wants to be the biggest badass there ever was and beat the shogi master Urushi at her own game, and only then will he make his move. But he also constantly showers Urushi with the lines straight from your regular Indian soap operas with the best poker face of 2022 and makes some obvious moves which creates a very interesting dynamic between the two. It's not as zany and is certainly more wholesome than Kaguya-sama, while still feeling like a fun cat-and-mouse game. And I think it will be at least an 8.1. And if not, I'll buy and wear a cosplay of a character of your choosing. The last but not the least is Isekai Ojisan, which is the most hilariously cringy and relatable isekai deconstruction to date. The show basically answers the question, what would it be like to live in a fantasy world and then come back, while of course being really overpowered. We follow the life of a 17-year-old Takafumi, whose uncle was in a coma for 17 years after being hit by a truck. One day the uncle suddenly wakes up, starts speaking gibberish, and it turns out that all this time he was living in another world. He then proceeds to choose the best career path in existence and becomes a YouTuber, showing off his magical abilities on the video, gets blasted in the comments, and starts reminiscing on his life in another world, which sucked hard. The thing that sold me on this show the most, aside from the cozy sketch-like art style, is the way Takafumi reacts to all the shit his uncle does, while seriously cringing on every single decision that his uncle makes. 8.2. And if not, I will do an hour-long episode on why the tsundere archetype is the best archetype of waifus there is. And don't forget to share your predictions in the comments. Another great title that you certainly should pay close attention to is Chainsaw Man, and in this video I talk about why part 2 may be even better than the original. It's been Danon, your resident Russian Taku. Take care and have a good day. Пока!